Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be another Project Pan update. It is almost April. I'm filming this a little bit before it's going to go up, but I am very excited. We've made a lot of good progress on some of these products, and I think we're going to switch one of these products out. Not because I finished them, but because I'm getting bored. If you're new here, hi, my name is Vivian. I'm a robotics engineer with a love for all things beauty and makeup related, and I love trying new makeup, but I definitely want to make sure I am using up all of the makeup that I have. I do a lot of project pans, shop my stashes, things of that nature, and if you're interested in that type of content, be sure to like and subscribe if you aren't already, and let's just hop into it. If you are new to my Project Pan series, I usually start with the more boring updates, boring in terms of not really seeing a ton of visible progress, and I work my way towards the more exciting ones. So the first item I want to talk about is my Nabla Skin Bronzing in the shade Soft Revenge. This has been in my Project Pan for quite a while now. I definitely thought I was going to hit pan on this relatively quickly. There was a time a couple of months ago where I felt just like in my soul that I was really close, and I still have not hit pan on this. So I'm still working on this. I still think it's a great product. I think it's a great bronzer, so I am going to keep this in and work on this a little bit more. I do still feel like I'm pretty close. Like I still feel like I can see maybe a little bit of the waffling like from the pan underneath, so we're gonna keep working on it. This is a great bronzer. It is a baked formula, so I feel like it just blends effortlessly. I just take a really big fluffy brush, swirl it around in there, and I feel like it blends out really easily on my cheeks. So I love this. Also love the tone of this because it's not as warm. It is more of like a neutral cool tone bronzer, which works really well for my skin. I find that a lot of bronzers can lean really orange, especially on my olive skin tone. So love this. Not a ton of visible progress, but I'm still working my way through it. I am still trying to hit pan on this, and it's just taking me a lot longer than I thought it would. The next item I have here is my Merit the Minimalist foundation stick. I still feel like I've made a lot of good progress with this. I've been using it pretty much every time I do my makeup, whether it's just underneath my eyes or I use it as a full foundation. I have been using it quite a bit. I do feel like I've made good progress. It's starting to well, this has broken off already. This broke off a long time ago, and I've just kind of stuck it back onto the little component that it's connected to, and the more that I use it, the more that's shifting, so I always have to pick it up and then twist it back onto the little mechanism that pushes it up. So not ideal, but I do feel like I've made pretty good progress on this. I do feel like I can still finish this within the next couple of months, so hopefully I'll get there soon. Yeah, this one has just been really slow and steady. I have said in the past that it's not my favorite product, and that still is true. It isn't my favorite product, but I do feel like I have made this much progress already, so I definitely want to try and use it up and finish it up. The next item I have here is my blush. This is the Euphoria BYO blush oil in the Chemical Reaction shade. As you can see from the marking, I've made pretty steady progress with this the last 3 months, so I still feel like I have a long time to go just because this is a full size blush. I do think it'll take me the full year or at least another 6 months to finish this up. Not the worst. I feel like this is still pretty good progress, and I still love this color of blush on me, so I'm having a good time with this. The only thing that I feel like is maybe not the best is that it is very dewy, and just on my oily skin it can feel a little bit too dewy sometimes, especially when I'm sweating. So usually I have to set this with a powder blush as well. This on its own doesn't last the longest for me, but it's still a very pretty blush. If you really like a dewy blush, I think this is a great option. Yeah, I've been loving this blush. I'm still happy having it in my project pan. I don't feel like it's a chore to use it. The next thing I wanted to mention is my highlighter. This is the Lila B Divine Duo Lip and Cheek in the shade Bedazzling. This has been in my project pan for a while now. I finally got around to re-pressing it, but because it's a cream, it's a little bit harder to do that. I feel like once I started digging in there, the cream was no longer, like the cream got so much softer, and now I feel like it's a little bit harder to like pick up. Or I guess a little bit easier to pick up, but now I pick up too much product. So I'm still working on this. I still think it's an okay highlighter. Lila B is no longer a brand, so I'm really just trying to use this up to try and get it out of my collection. When I first put this in my project pan, I thought it was going to go a lot faster just because it was such a small like component, but with the way that I use highlighter, I'm really only using it in very pinpointed spots, and it's just been taking me a lot longer than I thought, especially now that I have like repressed it. There's still quite a lot of product in here, so this is still gonna take me a couple of more months to use up, but still making progress with it. The next item I want to talk about is my lip liner. This is the NYX matte lip liner in the shade Soft Spoken. I feel like I am pretty close to like done with this. It is getting very hard to hold. I've made pretty steady progress with it within the last couple of months, but you can maybe see it's just so like hard to hold now. And I said this in the last project pan update, but it's a little bit easier with the cap on, but once it gets to the point where it's too hard to hold, I am going to call it quits on this. I am very proud of myself for how much I've used this. I've had this in my project pan since July of 2023, so it's been almost a year, like a couple months from a full year. You know, I don't think I've finished up a lip liner before, so I'm glad that I'm making progress with this. I'm glad that I'm almost done with this. Hopefully in the next month or 2 months I can finally call this quits. The next item I want to talk about is my gloss that I have in my project pan right now. This is from Kaja. This is the Gloss Shot, and maybe you can see, well, you can probably see in the close-ups, but I am currently about a little over halfway through with this gloss. I think that's pretty good. I think if you can like look from the progress in here, I do feel like that's substantial progress. So I'm pretty happy with the amount that I've used this. I am working my way through it. It's a good gloss. It is very juicy on my lips and very comfortable, and it's just like a really pretty everyday milky pink color. So working my way through it. I think I can finish this before the end of the year for sure. I want to say maybe in like 4 or 5 months is when I'll be truly done with this. And with glosses, I've never really felt the need to pull the stopper out and get like every single last morsel of product. I know that that is something that a lot of people do, but with my collection being how big it actually is, once I start like scraping the sides is usually when I call it quits. So with that, I do think I can finish this within the next like 4 to 5 months. The next item I have here is my primer. This is from Vive. This is the Skin Nova Instant Radiance Primer. You can see from the marking, I've made a lot of pretty good progress in the last month here. I mean, this is just like a mini size, so I wasn't expecting this to take me a super long time to finish up, but it is taking me a little bit less time than I thought it would. I thought I would have a little bit less progress on this, but I do really like it. It is very pretty. It blends in really nicely. I will say the sunscreen that I use today is like a matte sunscreen, and because of that, I feel like that with this on top made it pill. So I think I'm just going to have to use a different sunscreen for a little bit here until I finish this primer. I'm really happy with the way this looks, the way it looks on my skin. It is very glowy without feeling like Tin Man-y, and I really like the texture of this. It's really nice and like gel-like, so it just sinks in really quickly, especially on my oily skin. I like something that it feels super lightweight like this. So yeah, really been liking this. I am pretty happy with the amount of progress that I've made. And the last thing I have here is my Rare Beauty powder. This is the setting powder in the shade Light Medium, and for me, this is a product that I am just getting so bored with. I mentioned in a previous video that it is starting to feel like a chore to use it. I don't like the powder. I honestly just think that it doesn't do a good job of like setting my makeup. I feel like throughout the days my oils just eat this powder up so much quicker than a lot of my other powders. The tint of this is slightly too orange for me, and so I feel like it darkens my foundation and just usually makes me look a little bit cakey in general. And because of that, because it feels like a chore, because I don't like it, I am gonna pull this out of my project pan right now without using it up. Also, every time that I've tried to make a marking, it has never like lined up correctly. So it's really hard to gauge how much of this I've actually used and how much I haven't. I want to say like a little bit less than halfway through with this, but I just am not feeling having this in my project pan anymore. So I'm going to pull this out. I am going to put in a different powder to replace it. This is the first time that I've not like finished or met my goal on a product before pulling it out. But like I said, I don't want my project pan to feel like a chore. I want to enjoy the products that I'm using. I want to like genuinely be excited about making progress on things, and the Rare Beauty powder is just something that I am not having a good time. There's not really a good way for me to track it either. Even if I go by uses, like I feel like it just isn't doing it for me. So I'm gonna pull this out. I am gonna put in a different powder to replace it, and hopefully this new powder will inspire me a little bit more and give me a little bit more freedom, fun time to work through a powder. So the powder that I'm going to put in to replace the Rare Beauty one is this one from LYS. This has been in my project pan before. This is their translucent setting powder, their triple fix translucent setting powder. I have mine in the shade Resilience. You can see, since this has been in my project pan before, I do have quite a big pan in this. My goal on this, the last time I had it in my project pan, was just to hit pan, and because I liked using it so much, I have extended that pan quite a bit. And now putting this back into my project pan, my goal is going to be to use it completely up. It is quite thin around the center where this pan is, but the outsides, the perimeters of it are quite thick still. So I do think this still has a long way to go, but at least this way I am gonna be able to see the like physical progress I'm making on this. Unlike with the Rare Beauty powder, where every time I tried to make a marking, it was either higher than it was before or the same it was before. Like this powder just did not make sense to me. I don't understand how I could use this every time I do my makeup and not have any sort of progress whatsoever. And I like try to tap it all the way down. I've tried everything. I am just not having a good time with that anymore, and hopefully with the LYS powder, with the powder that I actually like using, enjoy using, I am hoping that it won't feel like a chore anymore, and I'll be excited about making progress, and being able to see that progress will also excite me a lot more. So that is everything in my project pan update this month. I am excited to make some progress on some of these products, specifically the powder. I'm hoping that the powder will go much quicker now that I can actually see my progress on it. Hopefully in next month's update, I'll be able to pull out 2 products here and finish them up. I feel like I am pretty close to being done with both of them, and I think it'd be pretty stellar if I could roll out some of these products and roll in some new ones. Everything else I think is going to take me a little bit longer, a couple of months minimum. These 2 though, I think these 2 are my next goal to like try and fully use up. So that is everything. I hope you guys are having a great day today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a like and subscribe if you aren't already. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys!